Close Encounter with Death, Chapter 3 of Holographic Multiverse. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something really intense, Chapter 3 of Holographic Multiverse, called Close Encounter with Death. And I have to warn you up front, this one gets deep. We're talking about a near-death experience that completely changed someone's understanding of what it means to be alive. Before we start, I want to say that this chapter deals with some heavy topics around mortality and medical emergencies. If that's something you're not comfortable with right now, maybe save this one for later. For everyone else, let's go on this incredible and honestly terrifying journey together. It started like any other day. So picture this. It's a rainy evening. You're leaving college after diving deep into quantum physics. You know, just thinking about atoms and the nature of reality. Normal Tuesday stuff, right? You're fumbling with your umbrella, trying to stay dry, finally making it to your car. The rain is drumming on the roof, and you're exhausted, like bone-deep tired. The drive home is brutal, poor visibility, fighting to stay awake. We've all been there. You finally make it home, and all you want is warmth, dry clothes, and food. There's a sink full of dishes waiting for you. You know, that pile of life admin we all ignore when we're overwhelmed. You grab some eggs, fry them up quickly, and eat way too fast. That sweet torment of overeating when you're starving. Everything seems totally normal, just another day of pushing through exhaustion and taking care of basic needs. But sometimes, life has other plans. When everything changes in an instant. Without warning, this crushing pain hits like someone just stabbed a knife into the diaphragm. And I mean, this isn't your typical stomachache. This is the kind of pain that makes your entire world shrink down to just that moment, that sensation. What happens next is absolutely terrifying. The body starts shutting down in ways you never imagined possible. Through crushing heaviness that feels like you're being pressed by an enormous weight. Waves of nausea that make you feel like you're going to turn inside out. Heat flooding through your body like someone poured boiling water over you. Your heart racing so fast you think it might explode. Weeding profusely, gasping for breath. Then the really scary part, your legs start going numb. But here's where it gets truly mind-bending. It's not just physical pain, your sense of self starts dissolving. The dissolution of everything you think you are. Imagine your thoughts suddenly scattering in all directions like someone just threw confetti into a hurricane. You can't hold on to a single idea. And then you start feeling like your body isn't, well, yours anymore. The narrator describes feeling like they're no longer a whole person, but made up of disconnected parts that can't communicate with each other. Can you imagine that? The fundamental sense of I am one person in one body just disappears. There's this terrifying hyper-awareness of every nerve in the body, followed by this complete disconnect. It's like watching yourself fall apart from the inside, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. The journey beyond. And then something extraordinary happens. Everything goes quiet, not just quiet, like profound universal silence. All thoughts empty out, and there's this incredible feeling of grandeur. The narrator describes floating in this airless space, moving toward this bright tunnel that's getting narrower as they accelerate toward this blinding, peaceful light. Now I know what you're thinking. Classic near-death experience, right? But hearing it described firsthand, with this raw honesty, it hits differently. They describe becoming a creature that has no shape or cannot feel or think, just pure energy resting in deep peace and silence. And here's the part that really gets me. They wanted to stay there. That peace was so complete, so perfect, that the idea of returning to the painful physical world felt almost cruel. But return they did, violently, like being stabbed all over again. Fighting for survival. Waking up on the bed, completely disoriented and terrified, begins a whole new nightmare. The fear that this might happen again at any moment. The desperate call to the ambulance. Can you imagine being so scared of your own body that you don't trust it to keep you alive? The ambulance ride is its own kind of hell. The unstable bed making the nausea worse, sirens adding to the anxiety, desperately focusing on staying conscious by concentrating on simple things like the feeling of your feet. Time becomes this elastic, horrible thing where every second feels like an hour.
The hospital, hope and horror. Getting to the hospital brings relief and terror at the same time. You're closer to help, but you're also completely vulnerable, dependent on strangers to figure out what's happening to you. And then there's this moment that perfectly captures how fragile everything has become. The nurse tries to draw blood and misses the vein. This tiny medical procedure, something that happens every day, becomes this huge trauma that makes the narrator feel like their soul is separating from their body again. The waiting is agony, uncontrollable sweating, heart racing, feeling your pulse throbbing in your neck, pacing around, completely helpless, unable to calm your own body down. For someone who probably never felt truly helpless before, this is devastating. The diagnosis and the path back. When the doctor finally comes back with results, low potassium, likely made worse by anxiety, there's this weird anticlimax. The immediate physical threat is manageable, but the psychological impact, that's going to take much longer to heal. But here's where something beautiful happens. The narrator starts using visualization, imagining a peaceful beach, actively replacing thoughts of death and illness with positive energy. And slowly, gradually, their heart rate starts to calm down. It's this incredible moment of taking back control, of saying, no, I'm not going to let terror run my life. When the doctor gives the final all clear, they describe feeling like a stone fell from their heart. Can you imagine that relief? Coming home changed. The taxi ride home is quiet, exhausted, peaceful in a fragile way. But this isn't the same person who left the college parking lot that evening. They've been to the edge of existence and back. They've seen what lies beyond the veil of ordinary consciousness. The world looks the same, but everything has changed. What this means for all of us. So why am I sharing this intense, deeply personal experience with you? Because I think it touches on something universal about being human. First, it shows us how fragile we really are. That sense of being a unified person, mind, body, spirit, all working together. That's actually pretty delicate. It can shatter faster than we ever imagined. Second, it's a reminder to listen to our bodies. Exhaustion, stress, pushing through when we should rest. These aren't just inconveniences. Sometimes they're warnings we ignore at our own peril. Third, it reveals our shared vulnerability. While the specifics might be unique, that core experience of losing control, confronting mortality, feeling completely helpless, that resonates with something deep in all of us. And finally, it shows the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Even in complete terror and disintegration, there's still this drive to survive, to fight, to find ways to heal and recover.
The big questions. This experience forces us to ask some pretty profound questions. What is consciousness? What happens when we die? Can something beautiful emerge from terror? What was that light? Was it real, or was it the brain's way of coping with crisis? Maybe the answer doesn't matter as much as the asking. Maybe the real value is in acknowledging that our everyday reality, the commutes, the meals, the dishes in the sink, exists alongside this vast capacity for both suffering and transcendence. A shared vulnerability. I think sharing stories like this, even when they're scary and uncomfortable, is important. It reminds us that we're all walking around with these incredible, fragile, miraculous bodies that can betray us or transcend beyond anything we imagined possible. It's an invitation to appreciate what we have while we have it, to acknowledge our shared humanity, and to stay curious about the mysteries that exist just beyond the edge of our normal perception. What do you think? Have you ever had moments where your sense of reality completely shifted? How do experiences like this change how we view life and death? Let me know in the comments. If this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into consciousness, reality, and what it means to be human. And remember, whether you're having an ordinary day or facing your own encounters with the unknown, you're not alone in this strange, beautiful, sometimes terrifying experience of being alive. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the mysteries of the holographic multiverse, I invite you to check out my book. You can get your copy right now. Just follow the link in the description below. Your support not only helps me create more content, but also fuels this journey of exploration. Want even deeper access? Join my Patreon for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a free download of my book. As a patron, you'll also receive bonus videos on how I conquered insomnia and anxiety, plus a private 30-minute call with me to explore life's biggest questions together. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X, for updates, extra content, and mind-expanding discussions. Links are all below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.